Welcome everyone. It's Griff Calzone here with Pete. How you doing today, Pete?
You know what, Grip? I'm not doing that good. You know why? Okay.
Why's that?
Do you know why? You should know of all the people in the world why I'm not doing good. Okay. Now our lawsuits are up to 347 lawsuits. And you know what happened this week to me? You know what happened,
What-
Grip, to me?
What's that,
My
Pete?
law firm, the wonderful law firm of Minkowitz, Markowitz, Feinberg, and Rabinowitz, they dropped me. Okay? You have made so many lawsuits for me that they dropped my ass. I got to go to a bunch of Scottish guys, okay, up there in Evanston, Illinois, and they're my new lawyers. Okay, I'm so flippant. I've headed up to here. Okay, I'm gonna run down some of these complaints you've made against me, and they're freaking ludicrous. Okay, and the fact that I don't have my lawyers anymore. I'm not a permanent retainer with these Scottish guys. Okay, McDonald, McGregor, and McPherson. They don't have retainers on me. They haven't gone through the history, and it's all because of you bums. 347 freaking lawsuits. I gotta tell you, we have to mitigate these things down to zero. Okay?
Well, folks, see, I proved my point. And if Pete would have taken my offer, Pete was upset because I offered to buy his pizzerias to have a controlling stake, and I offered him instead of cash, I offered him shares of my 10x company, and he told me he had the nerve to tell me my company was a pyramid scheme like this, folks, and he said he wouldn't do it. I wanted to bring
That
in
not a
some
pyramid?
80s. That's a pyramid, but
Listen,
pyramid
I'm not a
now, folks.
geologist, but is that a pyramid or not?
Yep, yep. But folks, for the folks at home, the pyramids are legal. It's a legal system, folks.
Well, they are in Egypt and they are in Guatemala, okay? But we got none in Chicago. There's also one in Vegas, which you and I spent a weekend one there back in '94, but we're not going to talk about that,
That's right. That
okay?
was the same year the OJ case was going on. We were watching that on the TV.
Yeah. And you know how much money you bet on the guilty verdict and I bet on the innocent verdict. Remember that? Remember
Yep,
those odds? That's Vegas for you. You can bet on who's guilty in a court of law. Okay?
that's right. I
But
call it Las
seriously, we got
Wages.
to do something. I'm out. I'm
Well,
out $100,000 here. Okay. Normally, my law firm, the wonderful people again of Miskowitz, Markowitz, Feinberg, and the new guy Rabinowitz, they waived the $100,000 retainers because I would provide them so much business from you. Okay, but now the Scottish guys, these Mick guys, these Mick Mac Paddywhack guys, who I just found driving through Evanston on a bus ad somewhere. Okay, those guys, you know what? They don't got me on retainer. So you owe me $100,000 plus you owe me at least 6 years of my life back.
see, folks, if Pete would just take my offer for the 10x stock, and we can get it going, we could double his revenue in less than 5 years, folks. Pete was upset because I wanted to bring in some dot matrix printers. So I wanted to use the disk operating system like the 80s. I wanted to use Commodore computers, and Pete went nuts. He said, "We can't do that. We're not doing that in my restaurants, blah, blah, blah."
Why would I need a DAT matrix printer? I got an HP. I got the all-in-one HPs.
We
Okay,
could
I
save
got a
up to
scanner, I got a
30%.
photocopier, I got a printer in one. Why am I going to go back to a DAT matrix?
Folks, we can save
Jeez,
up to 30% per year on a dot matrix DOS system.
forty
You don't have to worry
percent,
about
40. Where does the
viruses.
40? Where does the 40% come from? Did you pull that out of your ass?
We got suppliers worldwide, over 200 suppliers, folks, and through eBay and all kinds of stuff like that. We can get the
eBay.
systems up and running.
You give me
That,
a certificate of authenticity from the IBM company going back to 1986, and I'll buy at least one dot matrix printer off you. But you can't do that because they don't exist anymore. Okay?
well, we could find the parts, folks. We could reprint the parts. It's an easy system. It's a good
Uh,
system.
is it really a good system? It'll be around. It's not around. It hasn't been around for 40 years. Okay?
Well, my viewers agree that the old ways are the best ways, Pete.
Well, you know what? Your viewers are fricked in the head. Okay? Listen, your 10X program is a program for bums. Okay? And you want to sue me again? That's going to add to another lawsuit there? You can do it. I don't care. At this point in my life, we either got to get all of those lawsuits down to zero, okay, or you do the good thing and you just forgive all of them. I mean, I got papers here, guys. I got papers. I got papers. Okay, up the butt. I got papers here. You know what? You know what was the most dramatic thing about this? About this new file of lawsuits? You know what this bum says? This bum tells me, okay, right here. Okay, I got him. He says he gave me 19 citations for jaywalking in the beautiful city of Buffalo, New York. What the heck is this? How do you know whether or not I'm jaywalking in Buffalo? Isn't that a freaking municipality, county thing? All of a sudden, I'm getting caught here on all these boulevards that I can hardly pronounce here that are not because they're actually, avenues rather than boulevards. But for me, I think that they're that way. So on Delaware, on all these places. Okay, you know when the last time? You want to know when the last time I was in Buffalo? Was in the summer of 2019. Why? Why was I there? I was there to give the commencement address at Duville College at the Faculty of TV and VCR Repair, which I graduated from legitimately in the year 1990. Okay? Duville College asked me to give the commencement address to the people who are graduating from TV and VCR repairs. I don't remember jaywalking. I was on the campus the whole time. Where, and by the way, if I was jaywalking there, Grip, what gives you the right to sue me for jaywalking back in 2019? You were probably not even there.
See, folks, I have partnerships with the police, and we know things. And say, folks, you get 20 things, you put 20 charges on. If you get one to
Uh,
stick, it's a success, folks. So this is all deflection that Pete won't
what?
invest. That he's mad that I'm not offering him cash for his restaurant. He said even if I offered him cash, he wouldn't accept it.
Yeah, because your cash is the freaking Calzone dollars. I want U.S. dollars, not your own crap. I don't want any NFTs. I don't want any, grip coins. I don't want any none of that crap. I want good hard cash. And by the way, not the cash that you print in your shed in the backyard, because we both know you have a printing press back there. We both know that you're doing some counterfeiting. You can't tell me otherwise. And by the way,
Wow.
I have information that could take you down, but you're suing me 47 times. This is disgusting.
Well,
This is the
it's
relationship
because it's the
between
main
Grips and
reason.
I.
It's the main reason. That's the main revenue source I have, folks. Is my lawsuits because of haters. But my
Duh.
my businesses aren't doing that well, so I need the lawsuits to generate the
Where,
cash flow.
hold on a second. I think I got a kettle over there. There's the pot calling that kettle black. I mean, really, your revenue is your lawsuits? Wow. Where's the choir? Where's the pulpit that I have to preach in front of there? What the heck is the
And,
matter?
and
Yes, of
folks,
course, that's your revenue source.
like I said, the
Jeez.
pyramid is legit. If Pete would just be positive about it, you should be a positive Pete. Am I
Uh,
right? The pyramid, you get to the red. Red's a good number. Keep your eye on red, folks, and it's all good, folks. Pyramids is the way to go. You can't prove that anything's illegal.
well,
Just like
I can prove that things are illegal. Plus, you know that red also means negative. Like when you see your bank statement after the 4-month bender that you went in Cancun over there, or whatever that freaking place is called. What is it? Cancun. That's the one. You went on that
wow.
4-month bender in Cancun, and my bank, the good old people of Wells Fargo, sent me a statement. It was all in red. You know why it was in red? Because I had nothing left. I owed the bank $2,000. That's what
Well,
we're
the
talking
reason
about. Red.
the reason I want to take over Pete's Pizzeria is so I could borrow against the equity in his company, folks. I can keep my 10x growth systems going.
First of all, okay, I got one freaking pizzeria. Okay, I've had that pizzeria has been in my family since my grandfathers literally, okay, swam to Chicago from Sicily. Don't ask how he did it. Okay, but that's what he did. He left Sicily, he left Palermo, and he swam to Chicago. Impossible? Maybe it's impossible. Who am I to say? That's what the family told me. And he landed on my farm. Okay, he bought it for a couple of nickels, which was a lot of money back in 1910, let me tell you. And he made a restaurant. And the restaurant is known, very much known, for having the deepest dish pizza. That's a trademark. okay, to the Panzerotti family. Again, all of them in federal penitentiaries except me, but still, it's still a registered trademark in the state of Illinois and in the great state of U.S. of A's. Okay, so this bum comes in and he says he wants to modernize it. You don't modernize a recipe from 1910. Okay, my great grandfather, okay, who is in penitentiaries, by the way, he's 120 years old. As far as I know, he's still living. Okay, he came up with the deepest dish pizza. You know how wonderful that is for a family legacies. Okay, and this bum wants to go and like make it Saboros. He wants to put it in every freaking airport. You know how disgusting Saboro is to a man like me, to a 57-year-old man, a red-blooded American man, an Italian Catholic like myself?
If
It's
Saboros
disgusting.
is good enough for the Galleria Mall, it's good enough for your restaurant, Pete.
Okay, you got me there. You got me there. The Galleria Mall's a nice mall. I'm just saying. Okay, they had a Jack Astor's in there one time. That was also nice. And
Yep.
of course, they do have some nice fast food in there. Uh, but you know what, Grip? Even though I'm going to give you about 15% of that back because you made a good point, I'm not interested in franchising. Now, the worst thing that I ever did, okay, was giving 2% of my company over to Grips. That was the worst freaking thing. When you have an establishment like Pete Panzerotti's House of Panzerotti's by Pete Panzerotti, and that's a name that you can take to the bank, okay, right there. That's the one that rolls off your tongue. Okay. When you have a wonderful establishment like that out in rural Illinois, like I do, you don't want to put it in airports. This bum, he's always thinking about capital. He's always thinking about investments. I can't do it anymore. You need to get the lawsuits down. You owe me $100,000 in real American money. I'm gonna check it. I'm going to have the magnifying glass out there. I'm going to hire a man from the U.S. Mint. He's going to verify that every bill is actually true. I'm going to put that under the mattress like I normally does, and I'm going to invest it into my one restaurant. Okay, I don't care about anything else. The 10x, the pyramids, the red. I don't care about your OT levels. I don't give a crap. Grip. I don't care.
Now, like I said, I have the stock to give you in the 10x Growth Solutions. If we look at their pyramid again, folks, we could prove this is all above board. It's all legal. Pete has to be positive about it. We want positive Pete.
Legal.
Get in the red. The red really means green. Green means growth. 10x growth. 10x growth. Pete agrees.
Okay.
And I think we can come to a good compromise. Instead of $100,000, I'll give you $10,000 and the rest in stock.
10,000. Which dollars though? American, good old American dollars that I need
I have to
verified
get
from
it
the
from
mint or what?
I have to get it from Pinnacle Bank. I have to borrow against some
Or
assets.
Pinnacle
Should be
Bank.
able to do it.
Pinnacle. Okay. I thought you were gonna say Key Bank. Remember those guys there in Buffalo? Remember
Yep.
Key Bank? You remembered
Yep.
them.
Not money left,
Yeah,
but
they
yep.
probably okay. I was a Key Bank customer, loyal Key Bank customer. Okay. Freaking I swear to God, okay. You owe me 100,000, and we got to get into some kind
Well,
of mediation here,
I had
because I want to go back to my lawyers. I want to go back to the wonderful Minkowitz, Markowitz, Feinberg, and Rabinowitz, and I do not want to pay them a cent because of all the monies that they make from me. Okay, we got to get this crap down. If you could even just renege on one of the freaking jaywalking charges that I was not there for, by the ways, then maybe we can start negotiating.
the problem is, folks. I used to have an account at Gold Dome Bank, and now they won't take my calls anymore, and I can't get the money out of the
Course.
bank.
Yeah, well,
So
you know what? I had an account in Washington Mutual. So that one did not do so well. I'm just letting you know. We
same
all make
deal. Yep,
mistakes there, Grip.
that's
Now it's
right.
called Chase
Now,
Manhattan.
like I said,
I don't want to go to Manhattan.
if we could save the money, folks, on getting the dot matrix systems working on Pete's
Uh,
restaurant, we could save them 30%. We could split the difference.
you know what this
See,
bum
folks,
tells me? You know what this bum tells me was April 15th a couple weeks ago, right? I had to pay my taxes for the first time in years. Okay. I got QuickBooks. Okay. I got a copy from a guy who knows a guy in QuickBooks. Okay. It was from 2002. Who cares? Okay. So I'm doing my taxes because I'm a legitimate business owner as of this year. Okay. And I paid my taxes as of this year. And so this guy tells me he's got a better program. Okay. It's not called QuickBooks. You know what it's called? It's called Fast Notebooks. It's the same freaking program. You know what he did? You know what he did? He got me an older version of QuickBooks. He mailed it to me. It was a 1997. I'm sitting there. I'm thinking, Fast Notebooks, QuickBooks, Fast Note. Who cares about this stuff, man? Now he's made fraudulent software. First of all, I don't have MS DOS. Okay, I have Windows 95, like every other man in Chicago who owns a pizzeria. We all have Windows 95. Okay, so I'm trying to put the CD in, thinking, oh my God, Grip is probably going to try to help me. Guess what happened? Gave my freaking thing a virus. Okay, thank God. Thank God for the good people at H&R Block. Okay, in one of the malls there in the Oak Park. Okay, I went to a mall in Oak Park. There was an H&R Block representative. I said, "Help me! I'm entangled in this guy named Grip." He goes, "Yeah, we all know Grip because he's a fraud." And he gave me the actual QuickBooks for free, and I got it in time. That was on April 14th. Finally, I filed on April 15th. And now, at least for another year, I'm not going to jail for another year.
I'm glad you finally did the right thing. You filed your taxes. Griff here always files his taxes,
Oh
and
yeah, okay there, Grip. I read your book about taxes. Remember the one that you wrote?
but folks, the thing is, you could file them, but you got to make the numbers go in your favor, folks. You could put pretty much whatever you want in those boxes.
How many dependents do you have according to the IRS, huh? 17, 18, 20?
Well, according to my legal team, I'm not allowed to disclose
Yeah,
much
there
of my
you go.
tax. Everything's under review,
You know what this bum
and
does? 1994, Luxor Hotel, Las Vegas, Nevada. Him and he loses $20,000 on a terrible, terrible roulette game. So he calls up his accountant. He says, it's a write off. How is that a write? How is a gambling loss a write off of $20,000? Okay, I
that's true.
tried to I tried to write off my hotel room. Okay, $17 a night for a single bedroom there in Luxor back in 1994. You think I could do it for 2 nights? Come on. This guy
Now,
writes off $20,000. I can't even
if
get $36 off of a room.
I need Pete to start investing more heavily, he takes this. Oh yeah, I'll take 3% of this and 2% of this. No, we need 100%. We need the more companies you have, the more money you could borrow against them, Pete.
No more money. Okay, I got one company. Okay, it's called Panzerotti Family Pizza LLC. It's a subsidiary of course, my wonderful restaurant, which I'm not going to repeat the name, even though it's very simple to remember. I'm still not going to repeat it. And that thing is where all my capital is. I got ovens. Okay, I got those things, those pizza things you put in the oven with the big long handle. I got those things there. I got pizza cutters, those pizza cutter things. I got lots of those. I got paper plates to put the pizza on. Okay, I got all my ingredients. Remember, we went over that a couple weeks back. I'm investing in pineapple farms and pea farms and corn farms and all the farms. I got pigs, I got goats, I got
See, the thing is that
everything
Pete needs
to put
to.
on my
Yeah,
pizzas. Okay, I got
Pete,
cheese, I got everything.
I'm, tr-
That's where it is.
I'm trying to McDonald'size Pete's Pizzeria, and he's not going for it. Well, hopefully he comes back in 1 second here. But I'm trying to McDonald'size Pete's Pizzeria. He's got some good pizza, folks, and we need to get more commercial stuff. We need to sell some more of his products, and hopefully he comes back in a second, folks. But I think you guys can conclude that Griff Calzone knows his business. The pyramid doesn't lie, folks. If you want to get to the top of the pyramid, if you want to get to the top of the mountain, you follow Griff Calzone's ideas till the end, folks. Here we go. Here we go. Sorry about that.
Oh, freaking bum cuts me right out of there.
Well, it's because we're running on Commodore systems, not Windows, not ultra high tech Windows 95 like you, Pete.
Oh, okay there. Okay there. Grip's still on his DOS. C colon slash slash run, C colon slash slash document.
Yep, the old
Jeez.
ways are the best ways when you actually had to know some stuff. No mouses. Windows 95 was this when the internet started going down, folks. So I don't run the Windows 95, especially not Windows 98.
Hey, and you know who told me not to invest in Microsoft? Grip. He said,
Yep,
"Don't. Microsoft's never going to go anywhere."
he's still sore about
Okay,
that.
Panera Bread,
He's still sore.
Panera Breads. You told me you talked me out of investing in Panera Bread. You talked me out of Microsoft, Lululemon, all these wonderful things I could be. I could be
And,
sitting in Bora Bora making pizzas. What am I doing here? I'm in freaking Clearwater, Illinois, talking to you, bum.
and Pete is still sore that I made him. Not made him. He had I didn't have a gun to him. He said he was still sore
You
that
did actually.
I advised him. No, I advised him to invest in telephone booths in 1993, folks.
Listen, it was a gun. It was a Glock 9 millimeter. You remember that because I sold you it at the trunk of my car. So you did have a gun. You just don't remember it because you were
I'm
drunk
denying that
for,
right now.
from 1996 until 2008. You were out of it, out of
No, I
somewhere
couldn't.
else.
I couldn't predict the growth of cell phones in 1993.
Yes, you could have.
I'm not a god.
Motorola says don't invest in Motorola. Don't invest in Nokia. Don't invest in Skype. Don't invest, in Adidas. Don't invest in Lululemon. Don't invest in the Body Shop. Don't invest in Yves Rocher. I mean, listen, I like smelling good just as much as the next guy.
We went heavy on Kodak and Smith Corona, and Pete is still sore about that, folks.
Yeah, and Pabst Blue Ribbon. That was another one. Just because remember when in like 2014 everyone was a hipster and Pabst Blue Ribbon was popular for like 2 years? In 2012, he says, "Hey, Pabst, Pabst, it's going out of style." Okay, I would be rolling in Pabst's money right now if I had not listened to Grip Calzone.
Hindsight is 2020, folks. Stick with Griff. Stick with the pyramid. You get to the top of the pyramid, folks. You start making money hand over fist. Stick with the 10x growth systems.
Well, listen, if hindsight is only 2020 in Grip's case, then you need glasses. Okay, my friend.
What I need is an investor that's not is willing to take some risks, folks.
I've been taking risks, okay? The moment that we met each other at that bowling alley, okay, in Tonawanda in 1986, remember that? In the basement of
Yep,
the bowling alley, by the way. We
yep.
aren't going to tell anybody what we were doing down there. But I'm telling you, I took a risk. I made you my friend. Then he gets all up and up and up in this Church of Scientology crap, and he's got to pay for his clear and his OT levels and his bullshit with his Hubbard. I kept telling him, just be a Catholic like I am. You know, that's how you get on the up and up. But no, he's got to go pay. He's got to go to Clearwater, Florida, and do his crap over there. And then he keeps telling me he wants more aggressive investments. Okay. My entire family are locked up in federal penitentiaries for a series of crimes that they may not have done. Some of them they've done, but a lot of them they may not have done. Okay. And so fraud is the number one thing that my family is known for. But I am different. Okay. I don't get caught. That's the difference. You understand? And so I'm
See,
out here free as a bird, and I have one responsibility: serve delicious pizzas to the working people of Chicago, our professional athletes, and also former athletes like Chris Chelios, who might or might not visit Grip in the future, as well as former Mayor Rahm Emanuel. That guy's tough, let me tell you. And I'm just saying, I got responsibilities. Grip has no responsibilities.
well, folks, see, when you attack a religion, that's a low blow. That's a lawsuit, folks.
Okay. You know how many anti-Catholic remarks you used to make to me? Jeez Louise.
Well, that's
I
my
don't know how
privilege.
many more Pope jokes I can take, huh?
Yeah, he's right, folks. But you see, it's different because Griff is always right, and I think we can conclude immediately that's true.
Ugh, I don't think that's true at all. Whomever you're telling, whatever hindsight that you got is wrong. When you say, "Oh, we all know," who's we? Which person, Grip? Who believes in you? I used to believe in you. You know that. Okay. I invested in your phone booths. I invested in your crummy hotels. I invested in your, your lawn dart business. I invested in your, your insurance for lawn dart victims business. I did a lot of those things for you, Grip. And so here
Well,
I am, 40 years later, being a little conservative. Okay, you know what? You know what? Sue me. Well, you've done
well,
that before. Don't sue me anymore.
and
Okay.
Pete also gets upset when I have recommendations for his pizza. I told him it needed more red peppers in the pizza, and he went nuts. And you can't find no constructive criticism.
Red peppers. We have an entire pizza that is made from red peppers. We put the red peppers in the dough. We put the red peppers on the crust. The thing is, he's never seen my menus before. Okay, I fix him my menu every week because as a 2% investor in my pizzeria, you are supposed to give some kind of supervision for legal purposes. But this guy comes back, he's like, hey, why don't you have a cheese pizza? It's on the freaking menu. Then he says, why don't you have enough red peppers? It's on the menu. The pizza is literally called in big letters. Okay. I don't know how many times I had to make the font bigger so he would see the red pepper pizzas. And in the description, it says there are red peppers in this freaking pizza everywhere, in the cheese, in the crust, in the bread, everywhere. Okay. I made your suggestion. It's a very popular pizza sometimes. Okay. Sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it is. But this bum doesn't read.
I will give Pete some credit. His pizza is good, folks.
Thank you. You have nothing to do with my pizzas. It's an ancient family recipe that goes back to
I'm,
Palermo,
I'm trying to change
1910.
the recipe, folks. We're trying to change the recipe, and Pete goes nuts whenever I recommend it.
Because this guy eats at Sabaro. What does he know about pizzas?
I also eat at Pizza Hut.
Okay, Pizza Hut's a good establishment. Remember back then when they had the buffet? That was good.
Yep.
I don't know why they got rid of that.
And I don't like how they got rid of the Pizza Hut. Now they're bringing them back. They should have just left them.
I agree with you. You see, that's what we're gonna do. See, I will tell you that Pete Panzerotti's House of Panzerotti by Pete Panzerotti, we have had an all-you-can-eat pizza buffet since 1904. And even though we were established in 1910, the buffet's been around since 1904. Believe me.
It's good. It's a good buffet. It's a good deal.
Thank you.
See, folks, and Pete, he gets upset when I start recommending that we had Chinese food to the restaurant, all this stuff, video games, and all, you know what I mean. So he goes nuts about that, and I'm getting sick of that, folks.
He says,
Trying
why
to
don't you put Kung Pao chicken on a pizza? You got your freaking mind?
trying
Kung
to add
Pao pizza.
revenue streams to my 2% investment, folks. And Pete's just not having it. That's why we need to try to get to 51% ownership so we can do a hostile takeover. Then we can borrow against the assets of the company, folks. There's a lot of good real
Are you
estate that Pete owns.
You're telling me your plan out loud, your secret plan out loud? The whole thing
Well,
all along is for you go 2% up?
we need the vote. We need the viewers. I might need their support. I might need money from my viewers. So, might need to borrow
So you
against
need
their
money, Grip.
assets.
There's no doubt in my mind you need money. This is why we have 347 lawsuits. Here's another one okay? Here's another one for you. Armed robbery. I haven't seen you since 2008, but you're suing me for armed robbery going back to 2016, apparently in Hamburg, New York. I don't even know where Hamburg, New York is. And all of a sudden here, you're suing me for armed robbery. Okay. He wants $4,000 for this. Apparently, I took his PS and a flat screen TV. Again, I know there's a Hamburg in Germany. Never been there either. Where the frick is Hamburg, New York? Like
I,
if you can tell me where Hamburg, New York is, I'll give you $4,000. I bet you've never been to that place, and I bet you the people there are wonderful, but you've never been there.
well, what Pete's not telling you, folks, is Pete also stole my $755,000 watch in my hometown, folks,
Oh, this again.
right in
This
front of
again.
my hometown. I am not happy. I'm not going to rest until I get my watch back, folks.
Rip. The real Rolex company is spelled ROLEX. The watch you gave me that you accused me of stealing, two L's. Okay? Rolex. It's not made in Switzerland. It's made in like Cincinnati on the street.
Well, that's the
Okay?
real company.
Your
Rolex
watch,
is the knockoff,
your watch was worth $7.50 at the Walmart. It had
and it
two
still works.
L's. And I didn't steal it. Okay, you lost it in your freaking car. That disgusting car that you got. Okay, that Tahoe monstrosity. And whatever that freaking GMC, the freaking thing that you got there that has 4 miles to the gallon. You ain't driving a Dodge Neon like I am. I'm a concerned person here, so I'm trying to clean the planet up. But geez Louise, that watch was not worth that much money. I got to tell you, I've sent photos to you over fax. Walmart is selling the same frickin' thing for $7. You want $7 from me? Okay, but you got to give me $100,000 first. That's how it works.
See, folks, nobody makes fun of my watch in my hometown without dealing with consequences.
What are the
Well,
consequences? You've already suing me 343 times. Here's another one. You want another lawsuit? You want another? You know what? Another one? Okay. Here. I got pages. Which one do you want? Okay, I said armed robbery. You know what? You know what another one is? You want to know another one? Okay. He's threatening me over mortgage fraud. 17 times of mortgage fraud. And where? Honolulu. I've never been to Hawaii. Why were you suing me over your beach house that you bought in 1992 and then liquefied during the financial crisis in 2008? Okay, you're the one who took out that crap loan. You're the one who wanted to have the shack on the beach. Okay, not my problem. Acts of God are not my problem. I believe in God, but they're not my problem. And so he wants me to pay for the insurance, and he's charging me for fraud. I was not your mortgage broker. I was not your real estate agent, and if I was, I would have been lunatic. I would have been a loony bin to sell you a freaking house and give you a loan. Okay,
see,
you didn't
we
get
could have
that money
made
from me.
we could have made a lot of money, folks, and Pete
Mortgage fraud.
refused to go
What do you have
along
to
with it.
say for yourself, Grip?
It's called a shotgunning scam, folks. You could take out up to 5
I
mortgages
can't hear
on
a word
each
you're saying,
property.
Grip.
Mortgage fraud. You could take up shotgunning scam. You could take up to
Grip, I
5
can't hear you.
mortgages. Really?
Can't hear you, Grip.
For real? Should I go out and I'll come back in?
Well, there we go. People are here. And by the way, yes, Victoria has a pickleball court, a tennis court. We have a squash. He had everything, that guy. Okay. And he lost it. He lost it all. But he can't take responsibility. It's all about the Thetans.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Anything there, Grip?
You can't hear me?
I think you lost your audio there, Grip.
Ooh, okay, one sec.
You know what he does? You know what he does? He loses things. He sues me for it, like it's my responsibility. And then he blames the psychiatrists. He blames the body thetans. I'm a good Catholic. I have no idea what those words mean in reality. And I don't even think that Grip knows what those things mean because they're not a part of reality, if you know what I'm saying. So he had this beach house in Honolulu, okay, or one of the islands. I don't remember. They're all the same to me. No offense to the Hawaiian people. I love Hawaii, never been, but I mean, I don't know. I've never been there. Okay. I know that they exist, and that's about all. So what Grip is doing is just a monstrosity.
Stop messing with my audio, Pete.
I still can't hear you, Grip.
Stop messing with
Let
my
me log
audio.
out and I'll log back in. Hold, give me one moment.
Okay, how we doing now?
Still can't hear you, Grip. I'm so sorry. No audio from you.
Oh, everyone else says they hear me. That's weird.
So I can't hear you, Grip. Let me just do one.
Okay, it's probably that Windows 95. Am I right, folks? All right. Thanks, guys. See, if he would be running DOS, folks, he'd be able to hear me, and that's the problem. Windows 95 is nothing but, criminals only use Windows 95. And it looks like Pete muted himself. I need another sip of coffee, folks. You guys can view my plan in the meanwhile. I can hear you. Could you hear me?
Can't hear you, Griff. I think there's something wrong with my headset over here. I'm gonna have to go.
Okay, well, like I said, all right, we'll wait for Pete. You could listen to my plan, folks. It's on Nexus and Lexus. You go through the documents, and you go through the documents. It's a good plan, and like I said, if Pete was willing to sell me his business, I could borrow against that the money on the business, folks. You back?
Borrow anything from you. I've been 40 years borrowing stuff from you. I've never gotten a thing back.
Well, it doesn't have to be a two-way street, folks. Am I right? If you look at the pyramid,
It has to be a two-way. That's how it works. We're in business together. You do something for me, so I do something for you. Come on.
all I need
Jeez.
is 49% more. I need 51% stake in Pete's Pizzeria. Then we're going to start changing.
You went to the L. Ron Hubbard College of Administration. You know what business is supposed to be like.
We're going to start changing the recipe of that pizza, folks. We need more peppers.
Okay, you know what? I want a business proposal from you. Okay, let's say I give you 51% of my companies from Pete Panzerotti's House of Panzerotti by Pete Panzerotti. What do you do? What's the first thing you do there?
In return, I will give you some 10x stock, and then we're going to change the recipes of your pizzas. We're going to borrow heavily against every and all assets and take out up to 5 mortgages on every property. And that's a good plan. It's a solid plan.
Well, how much am I going to get out of it? What am I going to get out of it? What's my business going to get out of that, you bum? Not you. I don't care what you. What am I going to get out of that?
You'll get eventually, within 18 months, up to 3% cash back.
I could get that from a credit card from Washington Mutual right now. Okay. Why would I want that? What's going on here? You're not making any sense to me. You're just saying numbers.
You can contact my bank, Pinnacle Bank. It's a good bank. It's in Florida. They have.
Oh, it is a good bank.
Yep, they have my back. Anything I want within they don't question it. I know the mortgage broker, John.
I know it's good for them. They ain't gonna question it. Yeah.
I know the manager.
Okay, so my menu, which you haven't read in 26 years, what's wrong with my menu, huh? What do you want to add? What do you want to take out?
Well, we're going to change the secret sauce a little bit. We're going to put more peppers in it. We're going to put more garlic in it.
This is why you need to read the memos, okay? There's garlic, there's peppers. You've never had a piece of my pie. Never. Okay? You've never done that.
It's pretty good. Just a couple little recommendations that I had, and Pete went nuts when I told him what we're going to change and why we're going to change it, folks, and why we have to do it.
First and only time this guy comes to my restaurant, 2002. He's on a bender. You know what he asks? He asks if he can have thin crust pizzas. I kicked him out.
Yeah, he went nuts.
We don't serve thin crust. I don't care what kind of New York guy you are. I don't serve Detroit style. I don't serve Sicilians. I don't serve none. I serve deep dish pizzas. Okay, he wants me to convert. He wants to make this like pizza mega house where we have Detroit style, Sicilian style, Neapolitan style. We got all these different styles of pizza. He wants them all the types of the pizzas under one roof. I tell him we're in Chicago. If I do that, I get murdered by the mob. Okay. That's not how it works here. He doesn't understand it. He doesn't folks, get it.
I did offer Pete the use of my residence in Texas, folks. And I'm from, even though I live in Buffalo now, I'm from Texas. I live 5 blocks from Arkansas, folks. And we need some of that pizza in Texas. I tried to expand it, and Pete went nuts. He said it's only for Chicago. And I'm I'm just a cur dog trying to take care of my family, folks, and we need some of this Chicago pizza in the good state of Texas, folks.
You know what the problem? Do you know what the real problem is between Texas beef and Illinois beef? Okay, the cows here, they are gruel. They go through the winter here, and the winter here is grueling. They are cows. They're tough cows. Down in Mexico, I don't think so. Okay, they got the warm weathers down there. They're spoiled. Okay, you want real good meat? You come to Illinois. Okay, you come to our farms because my cows they stand outside all winter long and they develop what the Spanish called balls. Okay. And so, with those balls that the Spanish called them, they get really, really good je ne sais quoi. I don't know what, but there's a word in there I'm missing. Okay. And so, you want beef from Texas? You want beef from Texas? Okay. Pardon me, Mr. Cowboy there. Okay, freaking
I'm
John McClane cowboy. I don't care about that. You want cows that have been outside in the winter for 4 months out of the year, and their Spanish balls are hard and raw, and so therefore the meat is better. Okay?
I'm sorry, folks. I'm gonna have to push back a little bit. I've been living in Texas my whole life. I've been a cowboy since I was 10 years old. There's nothing better than Texas meat, folks.
You told
I'm
me when
just a
you were
cur
10 years old. You told me that when you were 10 years old, you were an intern at your father's investment company. We bought a little suit for you. Remember that? I saw the photos.
I'm just a cur dog trying to tend to my family, trying to do the best I could here in Texas. And no one talks bad about Texas. That's actionable.
I remember the photo of the first day. You had on a little bow tie, you had on a gray pinstripe suit, and your mother, she took a comb and she slicked back your hair. You look like Gordon frickin' Gecko, who 10 years old. You were not slaving away. You were there in the upper management office, and you had another intern who was 21 years old as your assistant at 10. You were closing freaking deals at lunch. You were having non-alcoholic martini dinners at 10 years
I,
old.
I learned
Jeez,
a lot
you're
about business
on the
when I was
private
10 years.
jets going to Kokomo. You know.
Well, we weren't rich back then. I learned a lot. I had three newspaper routes in Texas. One of them I did by foot, one of them I did with a horse, and one I did with a pony, folks. Learned a lot.
You need a
And
biographer. That's who you need. I need to find someone. You were not there. You were on Wall Street for crying out loud on the 44th floor of the Trump Tower, and you were making and breaking deals at 10 years old. That you talk about dot matrix, okay?
a few years
You were
later,
you were
folks, when
printing
I
out
was
receipts.
as soon as I could when I was 17, folks, I got myself into the Navy. I fought in World War II, folks. And
You were 17. You fought in World War II, folks.
yep.
So what? You're like 90 something years old now.
See, those are the facts,
Oh,
folks. If Pete
you
wants
know who
to,
was a good man? You know who was a wonderful man was your father, Fred. Your father, Fred, was a wonderful man. Okay. He built affordable housing in Manhattan. Okay. And then you tore it down and you built those frick. Oh, wait, I'm talking about Donald Trump. I'm so sorry. There's an overlap there. Forgive me. But your father was also Fred, who was a wonderful man. And of course, like the other one, he had a terrible son who's a bum.
see, Pete's just mad because I have good ideas for his restaurants. We're going to be taking over, folks. We're going to be expanding to Texas and Arkansas.
Arkansas. Who's eating Chicago pizza in Arkansas? You might as well be
Uh,
selling it in Iowa.
well, I live on the border in Texas. I live 5 blocks from Arkansas, so I know a lot about the state of
Okay.
Arkansas. I know how to improve it.
I don't think you're there now, by the way. I think that's your
Well, I
hideout.
do.
Okay.
I have a residence in Buffalo. I have residences all over
Oh,
the country, all over the world, folks. Over 200
I know
residences.
you do. Believe me, I'm a humble man. I got one residence and a half. The half residence is somewhere we're not talking about. It's a shack, is what I'm telling you. And it's my retirement shack. You ain't gonna find out where it is, Grip. But I'm sitting here in Clearwaters, Illinois. You can come to my farm, public place. I got a big sign outside of it that says Pete Panzerotti lives here. and that's because the government made me. But still, the sign exists. Okay, and every single month, the food inspector comes to my restaurant, and they haven't given me below a C for many, many, many days.
Well,
So,
that's because I bought off the health inspectors, Pete. So of course we're going to get good reviews.
well, yeah, I mean, Zagat's come here all the time, Yelp reviewers. I mean, we got a lot of people in Chicago. There's a lot of things to talk about. You know what I mean?
Chicago's a good town. We just need to expand.
I don't agree with this, Grip. I can't do business with a bum and a criminal like you.
Well, I don't think Pete's going to have a choice when we take over his restaurant, folks.
Listen, this is not a mine in Congo. This is a business. This is a red-blooded American business. You can't just come here with a militia and take over a mine like you can in the Congo, okay? Because I know what you're thinking about. Okay, I know the deals that you're making behind the scenes, but it's not going to happen.
We have our ways of convincing people, folks. All above board, all legal, folks. We don't do anything that's not legal.
Well, that's too freaking bad for you because I'm still the majority owner. Okay, it's you, it's me, and it's Chris Chelios. Okay, so unless Chris wants to sell you some stocks, then go ahead. But I'm still the majority owner. All right.
We're going to be sourcing all our products through Texas companies, folks.
You know who I'm thinking of getting on board is Doug Flutie. He was a good guy. Remember him?
Oh, okay. We had Flutie Flakes on the fridge back in the 80s, I believe.
Come on. I used to eat those for breakfast. Wasn't
Yeah,
that the whole thing about Fruity Flakes? Fruity Flakes, Flutie, whatever I can't pronounce it.
Yeah. It was
For
a good
breakfast
cereal.
of champions, am I right?
Yep. And like I said, I think.
All right, well, Grip, I got one more for you. Back to my notes.
Okay.
Okay, it says there on my notes that you're accusing me of grand larceny. Can you explain to me what the heck grand larceny is?
My legal advisors have advised me, and my mother said, my father said, my mother said not to talk about this case, and that's all I could comment on.
Okay, well, you can't tell me what I've done, so at least that's one that's off the books, no? Or are you going to now sue me 3 times for grand larceny, even though you don't even know the definition of it?
Well,
I
Ben
mean, the
Bankiewicz, my legal
jaywalking.
advisor, will.
Listen, I'm going to go to Duville College, the faculty of TV and VCR repair, and I'm going to get those tapes, and I'm going to prove to you that all 19 of those, jaywalking citations are a farce. That's an easy one for me to do, even though I might have to, pull a few strings. For this guy, that's an easy one. Trying to prove grand larceny for a man who doesn't even know what the words mean, that's going to be a bit more difficult for me, okay? But we're going to get you down. And I'm going to get you down at the end of the year from 343. I'm going to get you down to under 100, and I'm going to get my Jewish lawyers back because those guys mean business, and these Scottish guys don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I hope so.
Okay?
You
No
definitely
offense
need
to the
Jewish
Scots.
attorneys.
No offense to the Scots. I love Braveheart. I saw it a couple times. Okay, I know a lot about Scottish history because of Braveheart. Also, Rob Roy, great movie. That gets surpassed all the time by Braveheart, but Rob Roy is a fantastic movie. I'm just saying, I don't like these guys. Okay.
Yep, that's fair. That's fair. You definitely need a good legal system, legal advisors like I have, like Ben Bankiewicz.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's banking on he's banking on you. I mean,
And
Ben
he accepts
Bankiewicz is banking.
Ben accepts my stock as payment. I don't see why Pete can't.
Well, Ben Bankiewicz ain't got 2 light bulbs to room together. I don't know what that phrase is, but you know what I'm talking about. He's not exactly the sharpest knife in the knife drawer, if you know what I'm
I've
talking about.
seen
And
his
by the way,
certificate.
Benny over there still owes me 50 grand because he used to be my lawyer.
Well, see, nothing but Griff retains nothing but the best, folks. You can't skip on the lawyers.
You really can't, and that's why I want them back. Okay.
Yep.
You're telling me I got the best law firm in downtown Chicago, Illinois. Okay, and now I got a bunch of bums from Evanston. Okay, you tell me who's gonna win now. I need representation. And so this is what he does, guys. I was this close. I was this close to getting all those lawsuits when it was 272. That close. That freaking close. And then all of a sudden, kaboom, in the over Passover, which is on now in Easter, I got all these freaking lawsuits on my hands. And my lawyers, they say we can't handle it anymore. We literally have, all kinds of people that we're dumping on our junior associates and our interns. Our interns are going to court for us. They're screwing up, and it's all because of Grip. Go to these other guys in Evanston. Screw the Evanston guys. I want my lawyers back, Grip. You owe me that, buddy, because again, 2008, who saved your ass? Who saved your ass at the alleyway behind the Buffalo Wild Wings on Sheridan
I don't,
Boulevard
I don't
and
know.
pulled
I
you
don't
out of
know.
that stupor? That was me.
Nah, Griff doesn't recall that, folks.
Of course, you were drunk off your ass and you had the buffalo sauce all over your freaking mouth, and you had a bib on, and you had a T-shirt that said you ate a spicy wing. And I took you to the hospital, and they said they never reported or found such a severe case of heartburn. Who saved you? I could literally show you a receipt from that night. That was an $80,000 hospital bill I had to pay off.
Well, I appreciate that. We've had a lot, even though we talk about a lot of the bad times, we've had a lot of
I
good
know you
times.
appreciate it.
We had a lot of good times. Just that we got to start investing heavily. We got to start borrowing against Pete's Pizzeria.
Uh,
We could take up
you
to
know what?
five mortgages.
I need $100,000, and then we're gonna start. And then you have to give me the 80 from that bill, and on and on and on. I guarantee you need to give me at least $600,000 when this is all over with. And then maybe then maybe then we can then go back to ground zero. Pardon my French. I know that's a controversial term because in New York, I'm just saying, we can go back to ground zero. If you want, we can even go back to the ground zero and we can start again. Okay, that's where I think we should do. And so until we can do that, until you can admit that you're wrong, until I can admit that I'm right, then we can do it.
Well, there's always hope, folks. There's always hope. It's just Pete has to realize that we need to run a shotgunning scam on his mortgage companies. We need to borrow 5 mortgages, and then you contact 5, and then you go 5, 5, and 5. 5 mortgages, 5 regular loans with high interest loans, and then 5, and then you can take off 5 credit cards, and you got to triple it, folks. It's called shotgunning scam. I learned that from a criminal mastermind.
And I keep telling you, Lincoln Savings and Loans is no longer around. I don't care how many people you knew from them, they're gone. Okay? They're not going to help us. You cannot get a loan from Lincoln Savings and Loans. They're gone.
Like I
Okay?
said, I have a good relationship with Pinnacle Bank. They're good guys over there. They're good seeds. They're from Texas, even though they're in Florida. And that's just, they approve of my 80s technology. They said they like the typewriter, they like the dot matrix, they like the Commodore, they don't like Windows 95.
Well, then they're bums. They're bums. They need to get their thumbs out of their ass because they're bums. Windows 95 is where it's at. Okay?
Windows 95 was the downfall.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you something. The end of this week, end of next week, you're going to be hearing from one of my attorneys, either McDonald, McPherson, or McGregor. Okay? They're going to want to open some litigation and some mediation to get these lawsuits down. Okay? That's going to cost me a pretty pennies. Okay? So you better be willing to at least have your lawyer submit a letter that you got to pay for, because I can't keep giving out the olive tree here, and then you eating the olives and then taking a shit in the river. You know what I'm talking about there? So that's not going to happen on my watch this time. These guys are serious. Okay, I don't have no retainers. I'm going to send you letters to your lawyers, and you better be willing, buddy. I don't care. I will come to Clearwater, New York, and I will have to, sit through eating some horrible pizzas with you if it means getting down that amount of lawsuits. This has to happen. Okay.
If you do
I gotta
come to
be there.
If you do come to Buffalo, Pete, we should go to Duff's. That's what your restaurant should be based off of. Is Duff's.
I
You got
think
good wings.
I think we should go to the P.F. Chang's at the Walton Galleria. I think we should hash it out there. But if you have another fine establishment, if you want to take my car to the Delta Sonic, that's totally fine too. We could go anywhere you want, okay, as long as we are interacting with each other. We ain't going back to that Buffalo Wild Wings. That's too many bad memories for you. We can do the Old Country Buffet. We can do Sonic. We can do Joe's Crab Shack. We can do whatever you want. Okay, no Buffalo Wild Wings. Okay, that's off. That's off the tables. We could do Quaker Steak and Lube. That's a good place too. Okay, we can do whatever you want. Okay, but the thing is, okay, the lawsuits have to start trickling down to zeros, and this has to happen. Okay,
I
and you
think
know
we
what?
could
You
work
know
some
what? You know what, Grip? You know what, Grip? If you do this for me, all right, you want 50% of my freaking companies, and you want to go mutual on this, fine. Because right now you're bankrupting my ass, and the only thing I got going for me is pizzas. That's not good for a 57-year-old man. I should have
It
more. I
sounds
should have
like
a
it.
legacies. All my family are in prisons. I don't have any nieces and nephews. They're all in prisons. I ain't gonna have any kids. So I need a legacies. Okay, so what's
Well,
my
it sounds
legacies?
like a
Making
good deal.
pizzas.
Sounds like a good deal. If we get rid of the lawsuits, I own the pizza, 51% of the pizzeria. That's all I really wanted, Pete. We'll have the bean counters come up with the final decision, final numbers.
You want to put a little thing in your contract that says you get a free pizza every week? I'll throw you a party every week. Okay, if you get those lawsuits down. I didn't jaywalk. I didn't arm robber you. Okay, no grand larceny. None of that stuff. So there's some weird stuff in this document. Let me
Well,
tell you.
your
There's
people
some weird
stole
stuff
my
here.
memorabilia.
I did not do that. Okay, that was O.J. Simpson. That was not me. Rest in peace to the juice. He stole his memorabilia back. You only think it was me because I threatened to do that with you.
And I didn't appreciate that.
This is what we're talking about. Mutual understandings here.
Now we're
We've
finally
known each
getting
other since
somewhere.
1986.
Finally getting somewhere.
I told you. Do you remember that? I remember exactly where I was when I met you. I was in New York City. I was in one of those fancy theaters. I was watching the movie Platoon. Remember Platoon?
Yep.
Remember that one? I was watching it. I exit the theater, and there's this guy on the street holding a sign about investments. He's in a suit, nice suit. Okay. The theater was close to Wall Street. He had one of those brick cell phones, with the cases, right? And I thought, hey,
Yep.
there's a snazzy guy over there. This guy's snazzy. He's a big shat. And we started a friendship. The next couple of years, they're a blur. Let me tell you, we hit Studio 54 that pretty hard in the mid 80s. Let me tell you.
We
But
ran
after
some good
that,
investments in the 80s, didn't we? Everything was.
we had some good times. I
Yep.
remember one time. We ended up in Yonkers. I don't remember how the heck we got on that train. Okay. And then remember we used to party with the Beastie Boys and the blondie girl, Donna Karen, whatever her name
Yep.
is. I forget her name. Donna something, Carrie
Donna
Donna.
Summers.
We had that party that time. We had the New Year's Eve party. Remember the New Year's Eve party with David Bowie? Remember that one? I mean, again, these people might have not been real. I don't remember, to be frank, but we were on a lot of substances back then. But we've been
It's
friends
true.
for 40 years, and I think we need to get the lawsuits down.
I think that sounds good to me too, and we'll have the
All
bean
right.
counters come to a conclusion on that.
Because I tell you, if in the next couple of weeks I even get one lawsuit from you that's fake, floozy, and floundered, I'm going to turn into Angry Pete.
We'll
Okay?
pause the
And you ain't going
lawsuit
to
as long
like
as I get
Angry
my
Pete.
pizza.
You haven't seen Angry Pete since 2014. Okay?
Well, as long as I get my pizza, folks, we'll pause the lawsuits. Like I said, I'm just a cur dog trying to take care of my family, folks.
We'll hash it out. Okay? We'll hash it out. All right? Well, I got to go make some pizzas there, Grip. I
All
got
right, yeah, I
customers.
gotta get
Chris
going
Chelios
too.
is getting hungry. Okay?
All right, thanks, Pete. Thanks, everyone.
I appreciate everyone who's here, and thank you so much.
Have a good day, everyone.